Yo, 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 what's going on, YouTube? This is John Victoria. Welcome to the SEO Breakthrough YouTube channel. This is the first time that we are going live. And this is a new format. Have not done this before, but we are going to be doing some live breakdowns of real businesses. And this is the first time I'll be looking at these businesses. And so it's going to be fun for both you and myself. You'll get a good understanding of what we like to do when it comes to auditing websites and get some of the secret sauce as we're going through the analytics and going through the websites. And we'll be doing 3 examples on this, live stream, so you can kind of get a sense of the different ways that this can be done. But if you haven't already, I want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And so, whether you are seeing this on Instagram, on Facebook, or on another platform, if you got a hold of this somehow, just type in SEO Breakthrough 2025 or just look for the handle SEO Breakthrough. Hit the subscribe button, and you'll also see, whether or not there's a live stream that's coming up. And also you'll see some of our old, videos. I did 2 videos so far, one on a case study from a jeweler, and then another one was if you've used Wix in the past and their SEO score, like what can you do? And is that something that's useful to you? And then there's also a bunch of shorts from the reels. And so, if you are live with me, just put a comment in the comment section below. Let me know where you're coming in from. Are you coming in from New York, Los Angeles, Atlanta, wherever in the world you're coming from? And if you have any questions along the way, or if you want me to even audit your website and bring you live at some point, just put that in the chat, and then I'll reach out and we can get you on the live stream. So with that, I want to just pull up a doc that I built for today to kind of give us a structure for how we're going to be approaching these audits. And so, like I said before, this is a live SEO breakdown. I have not seen these websites before. I did some searches just generically for, what is the best keyword for an industry. And for today's industry, we're going to be focusing on plumbers. Plumbing is such it's a $1 billion industry, lots of money flowing into plumbing, and there is a lot of competition. We've worked with plumbers since, I would say, about 2018. And so I have a lot of experience around, what it looks like to perform well from an SEO standpoint. But, what worked in 2018 might not necessarily work in 2025. And the strategies that used to work back then, might be completely different than what we're doing today. And it's not even just a maybe, but it's exactly the case. And so I want to give you an update as of 2025, what exactly is working. And so in terms of the live SEO audit, kind of like the goal of this is, analyzing plumbing websites, and this could be any industry really. This is just our first one. We're trying out different content formats. And so, be analyzing plumbing websites that are struggling to rank higher for competitive local keywords. Things like plumber Los Angeles, or water heater repair, or water heater installation New York City. Or it could be, leaking sink, or, clogged toilet, whatever terms those might be. But we're going to analyze real plumbing business websites to see what could they do to improve on their performance. And this is a fresh audit. Have not going to take a look. We're going to select the businesses together live. And so if there's some hiccups along the way, so be it. The structure is going to be reviewing 3 different businesses, so you get 3 different examples of what it might look like to do an audit and how people are doing well or not as well. And I'm going to pick websites that are on the bottom of page 1 or on page 2. And the reason why I want to pick those websites, the bottom page 1 or page 2, is that they're already doing something well. There's some meat on the bone for us to talk about, versus a completely brand new website, which has absolutely nothing set up. There's going to be just too many things to recommend. And so from there, I'm going to identify some actionable things that can get done. And I'm also, just as a note, going to skip franchise websites and aggregator websites like Yelp, because they're going to bias the findings. And I'll explain more as we do our search for a plumbing website in a bit. So the takeaway for you all as viewers is you're going to get a behind the scenes look at what it is that I look at as someone who's been in the SEO industry for the past 10 years. I've done hundreds, if not potentially even thousands of websites that I've looked at, provide recommendations on, and I'm going to be building an SEO ranking strategy from scratch. But if you have any questions at any point, it's open Q&A. You can ask any SEO questions real time, put in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer any questions as we go along the way, because we're going to be here and we're going to audit things together. So if you spot something I don't spot, you don't agree with something, let me know and we can talk about it. But with that, some other just some of the framework that I want to add to this is in terms of what I will typically look at. So even before we look at the sites, there's a trifecta for SEO that I generally look at. And, this is actually from a presentation that I gave to it's a small business group that Verizon put together. This is my trifecta for small businesses. And so 3 key things to rank number 1 on Google. Number 1, it's going to be the content. So whether that's blogs or what's written as the copy on a landing page, Google takes that and uses that to figure out whether or not that you should rank higher or for specific keywords. Second, it's going to be the code of the website, more of the technical. Could be things like your page speed, schema that's implemented, the website structure, how you set up your robots.txt files, the meta titles, the meta descriptions. That code is something that Google uses to figure out how to rank you. And then third, backlinks, and this the off page, things that are done outside of your website. This is also something that's really important. Having these other websites, say a Forbes or a Chamber of Commerce or a USA Today, imagine if you had a link from their website to yours. That's a backlink. And the more of these backlinks that you get from trusted sources, the higher rankings will soar. So getting these 3 pieces right, the backlinks, the content, and the code, this concoction is what's going to snowball you and rocket you up to the number 1 spot of Google. And so, that's some things that we can keep in mind. There's other elements of SEO, of course. Google says there's hundreds of things that they take a look at. But in terms of a practical standpoint, what can we focus on as small business owners to make meaningful impact on our business? These are the 3 areas that you can focus on. And if you just focus on them, you're going to get to the number 1 spot on Google. And so in terms of the areas that we're going to be doing the audit for, we're going to be focusing on 3 cities. It's going to be plumbing in Los Angeles, plumbing in Houston, and then plumbing in DC. These are all major metropolitan areas. Los Angeles, Plumber Los Angeles gets 6,600 searches a month. Plumber Houston gets 12,100 searches a month, which is absolutely insane. And then Plumber DC gets 1,600 searches a month. So we got a nice spread. We got a smaller search volume with DC. We got a massive search volume with Houston. And then we have Los Angeles, which is down the middle in terms of the search volume, and I would guess the competition. So that's kind of how we're going to start. And if you have any questions, drop it in the chat and to go over the framework. But with that, let's hop into getting started with some audits. All right, so I guess we can start off with Los Angeles, and what I'll kind of do with you is I'll fill this out. We're going to pick a target website. We'll probably pick a competitor website, probably the number 1 person. We'll go through if there's any issues that we spot, and then for any recommendations that we'd want to give for this plumber. So let's hop into it. All right, so let's move this over here. So I Googled plumber Los Angeles, and if you've opened up a search engine result page before, you'll see there's some things here that are interesting to note. At the top here, we have our sponsored listings. This is local service ads when you have this, this section at the top here. You can book directly or get phone number. This is LSA. This is, let me just pull it up for you so you can see what that looks like. Service ads. But, these plumbers that are showing up here, they got signed up with local service ads. And this is Google's model of pay per lead. So, you give Google $50, they'll give you a lead specifically for, the service that you want to hit up. All right. So that's local services at the top. Second, we got the Google Ads section. This is different than the top. Local service ads, this is more paying per leads. This you can pay per click and you can pay per conversion, but you have more control over the lead flow from Google Ads versus Google local service ads. And they're kind of confusing because they're similar names, but that's that. SEO, which is what we'll focus on today, is going to be this top 3, this Google Maps section. So these businesses are not paying to be here. I mean, maybe it might pay a company to be here, but they're showing up here at the top without having to go through Google Ads. And then there's Google Organic, which is also SEO. We see here Yelp, we see A1, Rooter Hero Plumbing, and normally there's about 10 organic listings on page 1. And so let's count them up: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, exactly 10. And then we have some sponsored Google ads again. So 1, 2, 3. We have the people also search for. These are the types of companies, and then these are some other searches right there. So with this, probably let's begin filling out our spreadsheet. So our document. So the top competitor that we'd want to go after, we'd want to pick an actual business that's local, one that's not a franchise, because when you include franchises in this, they have a massive SEO budget trying to rank in dozens, if not hundreds of locations around the country. So when we take a look at it, it's not as fair of an assessment to get some understanding of what you could do to rank higher in Google as a small business. So I'm going to skip ones like that. So example would be Rooter Hero and Roto Rooter, massive franchises. I'm also going to skip Yelp, and I'm going to skip Angie's List, because these are more companies that aggregate, 5 or 10 or 15, 20 different plumbers, and then provides to consumer, okay, this is the person that, I think you should go with. So we're going to skip those, and we're going to find the companies that seem to be actual local businesses. And so we'll pull up this first one, A1 Total Service Plumbing. So we go look at this. So yeah, it looks like it's normal business. They do have different locations, which is nice, but it does seem like an actual legit website, and looks like they actually are based in SoCal. So with that, we'll probably take this as the prime example of who would be the competitor. So I'm gonna put that there. Let me change this to editing. And then for the target website, let's pick someone who is at the bottom of page 1. So let's say we take Mr. Speedy Plumbing. Okay, so let's pull up his site. Cool. Mr. Speedy Plumbing. All right. So we're going to plug him in here. Okay. So with that, we got our our target website, we got our competitor. So now the question is, how are we going to help Mr. Speedy Plumbing capture the 6,600 searches per month for Plumber Los Angeles? So, let's begin. So one of the tools that I love to use is one called Ahrefs, and we're not sponsored by them at all. It's just that we've used this company. I've used this company for the past 10 years to audit websites, to get a back end look at the website, and really understand and build a strategy for SEO. So we're going to plug in Mr. Speedy Plumber into this, and also we're going to plug in A1 Total Service Plumbing. So A1 Total Service Plumbing, they, there's lots of data here, but I'm going to just show you what I typically look at. So keywords, they rank for 2,000 keywords total. And their estimated traffic is 4.4 thousand hits a month. Okay. Backlinks, this is the amount of references they're getting from other websites. It looks like this is consistently growing over time. So they went from seven. So this is two. Let's do 1 year. So 1 year ago, they were at 93. Now they're at 172. So almost doubled. Okay. So that's interesting. And then, if we're taking a look at their rankings, a year ago, they're at 1,700. They're at 2,000. So about a growth of, it's not too much. They peaked here and then they dropped. There were a bunch of algorithm changes in October. So there's like one here. There's a core update. There was a spam update, all in 2024, the Q4 of 2024. And so, that's just interesting. And, I'll take a look at their keywords real quick. And then let's, we can just do which ones are they, looking to target. They're seeing a lot of growth for trenchless pipe relining, sewer lining, jetting services, plumbing pipeliner, reline drain pipe. Okay, so interesting. So they're doing some, piping. Got piping, they got plumbing, liners. And actually, one of our clients, they actually are the association for a lot of the lining companies. So not going to talk too much about that, but interesting. Sump pump, Benji plumbing. Okay, they have services, they have blogs. Okay, so interesting. So it looks like they got lots of good stuff here. Okay, so this is good to know, to see what the number one website is doing. And then let's take a look at Mr. Speedy Plumbing. So the difference between them is that this is, they have 2,000 keywords. They rank for 1,000 keywords. Interesting. Backlinks, they actually have more backlinks than A1 Total Service, yet they're not ranking as well. So that's interesting. And sorry, I should say referring domains, not backlinks. Traffic is 10 times less, so 4.4 versus 424. Interesting. Their backlinks has not grown over time, really. It's been like, 144, 182. So interesting. And then it does look like Mr. Speedy Plumbing, they've gone from, let's say over the past year, their SEO has grown. They went from 555 keywords, and then they more than doubled to 1,302. And now they're dropping a bit. So, but basically 500 to 1,000. So yeah, basically doubled. And so they are seeing some nice growth for their website. All right, but they aren't in the number one spot. So, so let's see, what might we do to improve things for them? So, like I kind of said, we're bringing back to the trifecta. Gonna go through some top level things that I'm spotting, but the trifecta is we're gonna take a look at backlinks, we'll look at content, and then we'll look at the code. So if there's any issues in one of these three areas, I want to come up with at least 3 recommendations for each business to be able to figure out how to get them closer to adding that revenue that might be looking for. So, all right. So the first thing that I can spot is for Mr. Speedy Plumbing. They have Plumber Los Angeles in the title of their site, which is really good, actually, because the meta title of the website, that's going to theme the entire website for a specific keyword. So normally, if you want to improve your rankings for a particular keyword, there's a few parameters that you can follow in order to maximize the title of the site. And so I'm going to add this here. So, so for the title of the site, I'm going to put the current. It's Plumber Los Angeles Emergency Plumbing Services. And normally what I see is that people are not maximizing the full character length of the title. And the full character length of the title is 70 characters. And so let's look at this. So we can see it's 49 characters out of 70 that they can do. So 49 characters. So one of the first things that they can do to already improve their rankings is they can update the title of their site to include more characters in it so that they can rank for even more keywords. So, if they're at 49, we'd want to increase that length. So there's a format that I normally, we like to follow in order to help to optimize the title even better. So let's say, let's say top recommendations. Let's say we did this. So change title to plumber. So it's got plumber, Los Angeles. And usually what we like to do is we like to add a variation. So if we specifically wanted to target this keyword, plumber, Los Angeles, we'd want to include another variation of the keyword in the title so we can rank for more keywords. So we might do something like, okay, so best plumber, Los Angeles, California. And we might do top plumbing. And let's take a look at some of the keywords that we could rank for. So we'll go here. So we got plumber, Los Angeles. There's plumbers, Los Angeles. There's plumbing. So, okay, so we'll add another variation. So there's best plumber, Los Angeles. So maybe do top plumbing company, Los Angeles, CA. Okay. And if you're a little over the 70 characters, that's okay. But you want to, try to maximize as much as possible. So, all right, so that's 65 characters. So we have best plumber, Los Angeles, California, top plumbing company, Los Angeles. If they were to change that title, I would give it a 90%, if not 95 to 99% chance that their rankings for that specific term would most likely to increase. So, so first issue, site title is too short. All right. So that's the first thing. So that's one change that I would make. So let's continue digging in a little bit further. For some reason, the rankings dropped, so we can try to dig in to see what happened there. So that it peaked in February, so you can do a comparison. Custom date. Let's do a comparison of February 1st. And then from here, we can actually see what are the keywords that dropped during that time period. All right. There's lots of drops here. And then let's try to filter out specifically for loss. So it's like Los Angeles. So let me do that. So they did see some drops for these specific keywords. Okay. And so let's open some of these just to see what's going on. Okay. So they did drop on this specific page. There could be a number of reasons for this. But one thing I would say is that normally on websites, we like to have at least 2,000 words of content that is unique on a specific page. And so I don't know how much content's on this page, but let's do a quick copy and paste. And we're going to see how much content they have. All right. So we got this. Highlight this all. All right. And then we're going to go to tools and then word counts. So they have 904 words. So, okay. This specific page had dropped 40 positions. And so if they wanted to improve, one easy thing they could do to improve their rankings is increase the word count. So, so low content on pages. So it's underneath 2,000 words. And, we've done some testing on this, having content with, it can work at 500 words, 1,000, but there's something that we do notice, at least in our testing, that having at least 2,000 words on a page does help the site rank a lot better. So that would be one change we'd want to make. So We'll do that change here. And we'll probably just remove this since this is a whole bunch of stuff. All right. So increase content count on pages that dropped in rankings to 2,000 words total, and mentioning the keyword in the header tags. All right, so that would be another potential change that we would want to make to the site. And so, what we could do is we could try to export this really quickly. We're going to open this in Google Sheets. And then for, let's try to do this. So the current URL, let me hide this. Okay, so this is the current URL. What I want to do is I want to find all the unique pages here. So let me see if I can do data. And then let's do data cleanup, remove duplicates. We'll do column Q. And then now we have a list of all of the pages that, that have dropped or lost rankings. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pages. So we got 11 pages that to increase content. So at maximum, that'd be 22,000 words of content. And we can do stuff with AI. There's particular ways you need to do things in order to make sure it's safe if you use AI content. But we want to update those pages to improve those rankings. And then let's take a look at this website to see if there's anything here that this is. Oh, sorry. Let's look at A1 to see what they're doing. Okay, so you got all of the services here, got trench lists, emergency special locations. They do have a ton of location pages here in the service in the menu. And this we have found to help to improve rankings. And so let's see if Mr. Speedy's done that. All right, so that's another easy fix right here. So locations, they don't have it linked from their menu. And so to give you an example of what that could look like, I mean, actually we already have an example. But you go to locations, and then in the menu, you can see all of the links to all of the location pages that are dedicated, built specifically for SEO to rank in each of those areas. This is really helpful. This is something that we've tested and has an impact on the SEO. So last thing I would say is updating the menu to link out to each of these service pages, similar to A1 Total Service Plumbing. All right. So let's go over here. I'm going to screenshot that. And then boom, we got that. Perfect. All right. So cool. So we got our 3 recommendations. And let me see, this is menu, doesn't link out to location pages. And then we've got this as the recommendation. And then boom, right there. If they just changed those things, what would happen with the menu is that because it's the primary menu, so all of the SEO for the entire website will now link to all of the location pages. And so whether it's Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, Culver City, all of the rankings that is being interlinked from the menu will help power that up, and that'll power up the entire website and lift everything. And so that is a simple change, and we can obviously see A1 Total Service Plumbing was doing it, and we've seen that with our other clients as well. So if we just did that, then that would most likely to get them closer to the 6,600 searches a month. Awesome. Okay, so I think we got our top 3 recommendations. So boom, we got that. So let's move on to our next competitor and target plumber for Houston. So let's pull this up and let's clear out what we had before. Okay, so Plumber Houston. So Plumber Houston gets 12,000 searches a month. So this would be one of the most competitive areas. Similar to what we saw in Los Angeles, there's a sponsored listings. We don't see local service ads, which is surprising, but we have Thumbtack and Angie's at the top. We have Google Maps, which is to be expected. And then we have the top website, Nick's Plumbing. So let's copy his link address. That'll be the competitor. And then we'll pull out someone else that is a little bit lower. And we'll probably pick Texas Quality Plumbing. And the reason why is because they're number 9 and does look like it is a local business versus Roto-Rooter. And to show you an example of like Roto-Rooter, they have locations all around the country. So we do this. And I believe they have, locations in all different states. So it's not fair to compare because they're just in a completely different ballpark. So cool. So we're going to plug them in as the target website. And then now let's pull up Ahrefs again. And we're going to plug in these 2 sites. So Texas Quality Plumbing. And then we'll pull in the second one, which was Nick's Plumbing, which is the competitor. All right. And then Nick's Plumbing. Great. Okay. So before I even jump into the full audit, one thing that I did see, which I'll point out to you, is that having a keyword in the website URL is helpful. So the number 1 ranking site, Nick's Plumbing, you see a plumbing in their brand name. John Moore does not. And normally what we see is that if you don't have the exact keyword like plumber in your domain, it's going to take a lot more resources like content, more links, better code for you to outperform a site that is themed and has the keyword directly in their domain. You know, we got Nick's Plumbing, we got Abacus Plumbing here. We have Cooper Plumbing Houston. We have Texas Quality Plumbing. We have Roto-Rooter, which is more of a brand. But, you know, on the first page of Google, we have 3 or 4 sites that have plumbing in their domain name that are actually small businesses. And this is a factor that, you know, we've seen, you know, if you just have a keyword, it's going to help you out. But the concern that some people have is that you might pigeonhole yourself into a specific, service if you are too specific. So, but if you are sure, and you know, let's say you're a plumbing company, you don't plan to expand into HVAC or electrical, it could be more beneficial from a long-term and cost perspective to have a keyword in there. But yeah, just want to make that note. So aside from that, you know, let's start looking at the site. So we got Texas Quality Plumbing here. They have 102 referring domains. These are 102 unique websites that link to Texas Quality Plumbing. And, you know, just so you can get an example of that, you know, let's go to their, one of their links. So one of their links is from the Better Business Bureau. And this is their site. And, let's see if we can find the link. Got visit website. And if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, I don't know if you can see that very well, but, you know, if we click here on visit website, it takes you to Texas Quality Plumbing. And so that's an example of a backlink. And yeah, looks like they have a lot of people that are working at their company, which is really, really cool to see. I'm very happy that they're growing. But, you know, that's an example. And then a referring domain. So a domain is something like Better Business Bureau. And you could have multiple backlinks from one domain. So let's say that there was multiple pages. Let's say there's 5 pages that were all linked from Better Business Bureau. You'd have one referring domain, but you'd have 5 links from Better Business Bureau. So, you know, with each referring domain, you have at least one, and then you have a one-to-one with backlinks. But with one referring domain, you can have multiple. So it's 1 to 1 to 3 to 5 or whatever. But hopefully that, referring domain should never be greater than the number of backlinks. And if that's the if backlinks is greater, or if referring domain is greater than backlinks, then the math is off somewhere, because you can only have 1 to 1. But okay. So taking a look at this, obviously, similar to the first one, if they updated the title, that would be an easy fix. And so not going to mention it for this specific one, but that's an easy one. We see a decline over time. So for some reason, they're losing their ranking. So I'd also probably improve the amount of content on their pages if they haven't done that already. But let's try to dig into their backlinks a little bit to see if things are looking pretty good or if there's any issues. So let's look around. Okay, so they have some, this would be considered, like a, like a Yelp, right? Yelp lists out a bunch of companies on their website. These aggregators, so they aggregated a bunch of companies there. Got Home Advisor, which is fine. Got Christians in Business. Let's see, I got 4 pages. Got Best Rated Home. And then they have this. This is potentially what's called a guest post. So, if they have a guest post, it's possible that they've had an SEO company work with them in the past. And a guest post, all it is that, there's some website out there that gets a lot of traffic, and basically you can pay that website to get a link on one of the articles that are created that links back to yours. This is a strategy that we used to do a whole lot of. We easily spent over 6 figures worth of money in terms of guest posts. They don't work as much anymore. And their main reason is that some of the guest post providers, like, they really are providing bad links. And so you're spending all this money for these types of links that don't have much of an impact. And so it looks like this is a guest post. But what you can do is, to see if this is a good link, you can reverse engineer the links that are linking to your target website. And so let me show you an example of what that would look like. So, we're looking at the site. This is RPM Phoenix Valley. And the backlink that they got, it says her hazard. So let's see if we can find that. Her hazard. Oh, actually, maybe it was removed. Yeah, it was or not her hazard. They might have removed it, actually. Actually, yeah, I think it was removed right here. This red. So actually, let's forget that. I think it was lost. So this is what happens with guest post companies, right? They take it down. Okay, but this one is commercial property offer, and this looks like they got a link from here, and then this is fixing leaks and ensuring the plumbing. So let's fixing. Okay, so here it is, fixing leaks and ensuring the plumbing. We click on this, and this takes it to Texas Quality Plumbing. Okay, great. Perfect. So this is an example of a link that they got. Now, how quality is this link? Texas Quality Plumbing, or how quality is the link? So let's check it out. So what you'll do is, we're going to plug the same link into the same tool. And normally what we want to see is, we don't want to see a decrease in the rankings over time. So, okay, so this specific page, right, doesn't have a lot of SEO power to it. So that's one problem with guest posts. But now, if we remove the back end of the URL, we're going to just see overall, like, how trustworthy is this domain. And we don't want to see a decrease in the amount of keywords over time significantly. Because if we see that, then Google probably doesn't like this website. Okay, so they got this link. It's not that. There was a decrease, right? It went from 63 to 39, but they got this link. They probably paid $200, $300 for this. But yeah, I mean, the site's not authoritative at all. Like, this is not going to pass much power potentially. So, that's potentially an issue. And let's see, let's go to the site again. So what we can also do is we want to see if other people have been getting links from this site. Okay. Okay, maybe this is not a guest post site, because normally I would see like, way more pages, but this is only 3. So potentially this could be what's called a PBN, a private blog network site, or it could actually be owned by them, or there must be some relation to them, because this is, it's I feel a little bit better about this link because there's not a crazy amount of referring like links going out. So this might actually be fine. So let me do one last check to see if there's any other issues with the backlinks. And if not, the citations are fine. They had, looks like they had some other, the first one that got taken down, so that was potentially an issue. But aside from that, I mean, this kind of looks not too bad. So let's do some more digging. Plumbing jobs, that looks normal. Service in America. WebWiki, Porch, best hosting. All right, so I think the backlinks might actually be fine. Doesn't look like there's any issues. The anchor text, this is just the clickable text going to your site. In the past, SEOs would, add keywords here, and that would be a clear sign to Google that, someone was trying to manipulate the ranking. So we don't do that as much anymore. All right, so, but from the looks of it, I mean, really the main recommendations, I'll probably, do the same as the first one. I'd probably change the title. I'd probably increase the word count. I'd probably do that for both. And then let's see if I can spot anything else that we would probably do. So Texas Quality Plumber, are they ranking in maps? They are, which is good. So they're ranking in maps. Open this up. Okay, it does look like they're replying to reviews, which is good. Nice. They are publishing Google updates, which is nice as well. Okay, looks like they're posting some photos as well, which is good. So, I'm seeing some good things with Texas Quality Plumbing. They do have a website that's outranking them that has less reviews. So it's not always the case that you need to have more reviews. So probably if I were to guess, for them to get up to the #1 spot, my guess is that they probably just need to generate a lot more power through backlinks to be able to get their map listing up. And so you can do what's called a map embed. And so let me show you exactly what that is. So, in terms of backlink, you saw what it looked like on, these other websites. You'd have some link going to your website. But if you want to rank the maps specifically, you can do something like, let me see if I can pull this up. I want to do a map embed. Go to maps. Texas Quality Plumbing. Okay. And then I believe is it share? Yeah, here is it share. And then you can embed a map. And then you'll have this HTML that you can embed on a backlink going to, your map listing. And so possibly what I'd want to do, so to improve map rankings, I would recommend embedding the Google map into powerful backlinks going to the site. And so I'm going to copy that code there. So, if you guys want to talk more about that, let me know. But that would be probably one thing to boost their map rankings that I would most likely recommend for them to do. So, boom, right there. So that's audit number 2. All right. And then for audit number 3, and I kind of feel like it was a cop out because I used 2 of the recommendations from the top one, but I would say that is something that we would want to change. But now let's look at Plumber DC. Let's look at Plumber DC. So Plumber DC, we got the Google Ads section at the top. We have the organic section here. And then what's different is that we do have a map pack sponsored listing, which you can pay through for Google Ads. There's Len the Plumber. I'm trying to remember. I think they might be a franchise. So let's take a look. Oh, no, they're all local. So Charles, Montgomery. So let's do that. That'll be the top competitor. And then we'll do someone at the bottom. So let's say we do Spartanman.com. So let's copy that. Okay, great. So let's do a similar process. We're going to plug them in. Spartanman, we'll do Len the Plumber. All right, so we'll compare the 2. One ranks for 1.3 keywords. One ranks for 19,000. One has 34.5 thousand traffic. One has 957. Okay, actually, this is, I don't know, they're kind of much bigger because they're also in New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania. So maybe I'll change this up to be someone that's actually local to DC. Fry Plumbing. Let's do Fry Plumbing maybe. All right. Okay. So we got Spartanman at 1.3 and Fry Plumbing is at 945. So surprisingly, they have more. So Spartanman, who is our client or the business, they actually have more keywords than the competitor. They have more backlinks, yet they're ranking lower and they have less traffic. So 957 versus 1.4K. And so one of the reasons that this can happen is let me just change up the screen just so I can, just so we can talk a little bit differently. One of the reasons that this can happen is, one of the companies might have hired an SEO firm in the past who was doing things like backlinks and was doing things like content. They spent money on this, but they did so in a way where it was not performing really well. So they end up losing traction. They end up spending a lot of money. They, they're brute forcing. They have a ton of backlinks, but they were the wrong backlinks, and that can actually take a business backwards. So normally when I do see that, that's usually the case. It's usually bad SEO is the result. So I would guess this is what's happening in this case. So they might be too optimized potentially. So okay, so let's see what we can do. So Spartanman, I mean, this is another easy one. The title, I don't think they're maximizing this perfectly. Possibly you would want to pick one specific area, and then we would create location pages for the rest of them. So, so instead of what we're seeing here, they have Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Northern Virginia all in the site title. They would most likely want to create specific pages for each of these target areas if they don't have them already. So let's plug them in and see what we can find. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have locations here. All right. Yep, so that would be one thing. So so on-page issues, couldn't easily find location landing pages built for DC, Maryland, and Virginia. All locations are being focused by the main page. So that would be an issue. My recommendation, create location pages per city. So something like, and we can do something like Spartanman, Washington, DC Plumber. It could be Washington, DC, Alexandria. Oh, sorry. Plumber. Or it could be, let's say in Maryland, we have Rockville, Maryland Plumber. So that could be something that we could do. So that'd be my first change that I'd recommend to them. Second, let's take a look at the keywords real quick. So let's sort by volume. So I have the services page. They have, looks like blogs as well. Close this out real quick. All right. Well, this is more of a carryover from a previous one, but once they create the location pages per city, I would probably do similar to what we did for audit. I think this is audit 1, where we want to have links from the location service pages in the main menu. So create a link to each of the location pages per city from the main menu. All right. And then the third thing, so let's quickly take a look at their Google Maps listing. So Plumber in DC. So I don't think I see them in the map section, at least initially. Is this them? Spartanman? I think that's them. Yep, that's them right here. So Spartanman, they have 217 ratings on Google. Plum Right actually ranks higher than them with less. Some categories we like to look at is usually the category plumber. I think they picked the right one here. Spartan Plumbing. Let's see if there's anything that they could do. They do have a bunch of 1-stars that are coming around, so that might be something that they want to address. They could reply to all of their reviews. So that might be one thing that they'd want to do. And then we can also do the map embeds that we talked about earlier, since they are they're close, but they're not at the top. And so that'll be another thing that I would do to maximize. So map embeds and replying to all of the Google reviews, both positive and negative. Okay. So I think that's basically it for the audits. So really, in terms of takeaways, this is, again, the first time doing this live. And so if there's any recommendations for how to improve, actually, my nose is getting really itchy. I don't know why. I might have eaten something that's making my nose itch. But you can kind of see there's some trends that we can notice whether or not it's a highly competitive city or a less competitive city. Changes to the site title is going to be key. Second, taking a look at the backlinks to make sure that they're high quality. You're not losing your backlinks. That's another thing to consider. For map listings, replying to the Google reviews is something that could be really helpful. And then lastly, just making sure you have enough content on each of the pages. That's going to be an easy fix that can allow you to increase your rankings very quickly. So yeah, that's about it. If you want me to audit your website live, what I'm kind of imagining for future sessions is to have the actual business owner with me live so we can ask questions. You can get to know their business, learn about their goals, and then we can walk through an audit together live on the call, and it'll be, potentially a lot of fun. You can ask them questions, you can mention different things, but yeah, drop a comment if you want me to audit your industry next, or if you have a website you want me to look at. So with that, that's about it. Please, if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit subscribe. Also, hit notifications on for any upcoming lives that we're doing. And with that, thanks so much, everyone. Take care, and we'll catch you in the next live stream. All right, bye-bye.